Welcome to the Diary of the Pan-African Preacher. In the moment of crisis, the wise build bridges and the foolish build dams. This is a Nigerian proverb that resonates strongly today as Africa stands at a pivotal point in the development journey. The question, what does Africa want, is increasingly urgent, especially as the continent seeks clarity, direction, and unity in its engagement with the world. As the Bible warns, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Africa cannot afford such instability. President Paul Kagame aptly stated, "In Africa today, we recognize that trade and investment and not aid are pillars of development." This sentiment signals a collective aspiration across African nations to transition from aid dependency and raw resource exports to a more strategic, multifaceted presence on the global stage. Africa is ready to become a central player in shaping international norms, economies, and diplomacy. I am aware that there is a growing chorus of voices questioning whether African countries should remain in institutions like the United Nations or continue engaging with non-African partners. These sentiments are rooted in the painful historical experiences of slavery, colonialism, and neocolonialism. But it is crucial to recognize that Africa of today is not the Africa of 60 years ago. While acknowledging the past, the continent must look forward with unity, purpose, and pragmatism. Africa's well-being cannot be achieved through isolationism or reactionary populism. As Professor P.L.O. Lumumba consistently emphasizes, Africa's progress lies in continental cohesion and a unified approach to global affairs. The African Union captures this vision by portraying Africa as a strong, united, and influential global actor. It advocates for Africa to take ownership of its narrative rather than reacting defensively or destructively to global changes. Africa must be on the stage, not off or against it. To realize its potential, Africa must first deepen continental integration. The African Continental Free Trade Area is a game-changing initiative that can break down internal trade barriers, harmonize regulations, and build regional value chains. Shared infrastructure such as energy systems, transport corridors, and digital networks will enhance economic cohesion and competitiveness. Africa also needs to diversify its international partnerships. Instead of aligning with a single global power, Africa should engage strategically with a range of partners including the US, China, the EU, BRICS, and fellow global South nations. A unified African voice in multilateral institutions like the WTO, IMF, and UN will strengthen the continent's negotiating power and ensure its interests are respected. Africa is also central to the global green transition, with vast stores of critical minerals and major carbon sinks like in the Congo Basin. Africa must insist on fair participation in green supply chains and equitable climate agreements. Finally, Africa's soft power, expressed through culture, music, film, literature, and its global diaspora, is a strategic asset. The continent must also secure its digital future by setting firm rules on data governance, artificial intelligence, and e-commerce. Good governance remains the bedrock of Africa's credibility. People-serving institutions, peace, and the rule of law must underpin the continent's rise. A balanced African strategy is not about withdrawal or hostility. It's about self-confidence, strategic unity, and responsible leadership. Africa's influence on global trade and diplomacy will not only depend on what it offers the world, but on how boldly and wisely it chooses to lead. Ashe.